Yeah, it's like the both shots are almost identical like this. If I get any wider, I start to see.
Alan, get in the picture.
What's, oh, thank you.
If you don't mind me seeing a little bit of the other person, I can get wider.
Yeah, a little bit of the other person, maybe. Well, you can move the camera.
I can't walk in front of it. I
You
didn't.
can go under.
I can go like that?
Yeah.
Should I take a picture?
Oh,
now?
yeah, sure.
But you should get next to each other.
Oh.
Like, Alan, you should stand.
Okay, I'll stand.
Yes, with the book. Yeah, that's
Should
cute.
I move to the side? then?
Yeah.
Nice, let me take it like this as well. Sorry, I want to get that too.
Okay. So Dave, are we going to go live at 6:30?
One more.
It's given me some problem with the
Right.
amount of the streaming.
Yeah. Good, sure.
We've got 7 on there already. I want to check to make sure we got something going on. See, there's 8 people there.
Are they looking at it?
The idea is
Please, Amrita needs the photos. Quickly, just airdrop. I mean, just unlock and we can log it. The photo.
AirDrop? I have to
I
turn off
wanna leave
airplane
this-
then, right?
No, I don't. I just need Bluetooth.
Okay.
Yes, shit.
So
I
we're
took all of
live
the
now.
photos on your phone. Should I just
So,
take them on?
which ones?
Go to all photos.
it wants me
Quickly,
to
I'll just
slow
take.
down the stream.
I don't want to take your time. Go.
Yeah,
Cancel,
keep
cancel.
saying
Wait, not like that. Because it's. Oh god.
What are you
Just
doing?
go into your.
I am.
the amount.
But it's handling now, right?
It looks like it is. I just got to make sure. Where can we see?
Oh, you want to see if it's
I just want to
that.
select quickly.
Where's your
Okay.
computer?
Just.
Right here.
Go to the, go to the,
She wants.
go to the, no, no, go to the, YouTube, go to YouTube.
Just one.
Yeah.
Another.
It says sent.
No,
Good.
okay, wait.
Now you can lock your phone back.
Search new reality.
I think I can use one of these. Done?
Oh,
Just lock it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Live stream today, live now.
You see it?
Yeah, we're
Right.
live on there. So you want to shut live now, you're
Yeah.
saying? So should we just start, we're calling?
Let's.
That's time 10,000.
What?
Can I turn it
No,
off?
keep that on.
10,000.
Because I wanted to go to Facebook and share the Facebook.
Oh, okay, do
That's
that.
to figure out what it was.
And you're ready?
I haven't checked it.
Wait,
One
wait,
second.
'cause is this normal? It's going like this. Is that normal? Should it, is that?
Probably the
Oh,
throughput
you're-
from the phone, but they'll be able to see it.
I'm talking to.
Wait.
So let's talk, let's do a little audio check. So you're
Yeah, I
Kamlesh
wanna
Patel?
share it, right?
Skills, the two of you?
well, this is a book of conversations between us. He's my teacher.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Can I hear you?
about meditation.
What's that? Yes. Sometimes that's the best way to convey information is in conversation.
Yeah,
A lot of
sometimes-
Krishnamurti stuff was in conversations.
Yeah.
Set to go. Hold on. Where's the channel 1, channel 2?
That's, it's all manuscript. It's just one of the cameras.
Okay, you go, I'm starting over here, Beth.
Okay, so we need to get.
So it's
You want
like.
both input one? No, input two should be.
Yeah, it's like input 1 and input 2.
Can you just turn it the other way?
Like this?
So I'll talk to isn't.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, yes. Yes.
I
Yeah.
saw a film last night that was made in 2007, Atonement.
We're
Okay.
taping right now.
Yeah, that's premium content.
Okay, so
You ready to go?
And
I feel like we're just getting dressed in front of you.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready to go now.
Well, we're not rolling it on your camera,
Oh.
we gotta get this set up.
And what time you got there?
6:29.
Okay, then,
Perfect.
okay. Okay, you ready over there, Beth? Because you're gonna turn.
Two shots.
Mhm.
Remember where the button is in this?
Yeah, good. And you're rolling on that camera?
And I'm now gonna roll on
And you
this.
ready?
Just tell me when.
Okay, go ahead, press
Yes.
that. Well, no. Okay. Yeah, press that arrow again. There. Okay, you ready? Oh, I'll do it over here. Welcome to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld. Thanks for watching today. This is a live stream here with my guest, Josh Pollack, who's written this book, but it's there's something new. What is special about the Heartfulness meditation?
I think it'll be a new experience for many people. Yes.
Yeah, this is my guest, Josh Pollack, who's,
yeah, I started violin when I was a kid, and I was always passionate about it. I was always actually completely focused on it.
Uh-huh.
I think I can thank my parents for that, my father for that, because they had...
Grew up in Maine.
In Maine, yeah.
Right.
There wasn't much to do there.
Except read.
Yeah, right. So I would engage through so many books, and they had in their collection so many books, Yoga Sutras or Lao Tzu or things about Buddhism, or interested and fascinated.
You were open-minded. So you were a professional violinist, but then you met your teacher. You describe it here, but go through it from being a professional musician to traveling the world now talking about this meditation. So what happened?
Well, I started this actually when I was, and I'd already tried various kinds of meditation.
Right. There's a million types of meditation.
Very new to this, in fact, recommended, why don't you try this? And sent me to a trainer, right? And I went to his studio. He was up there together, meditated for about 20 minutes. And I think this...
Deeper.
Yes, absolutely. And I went back the next day. I went to see him 3 days in a row.
Anyone who does this meditation will not be charged.
Yeah, it's true. So for a student, that was good.
Meditation myself. What was different about this for you at that moment?
Well, the experience was different.
What was that experience?
So this is what this particular method does, only this. But it was more like, you see, what is this turning into? What is it growing into? But even on the first day, I think I experienced so much inner balance, and a smile appeared on my face. And it confused me because I didn't know why I was smiling. I didn't know why I was so happy inside.
And that was different than like any other.
Balance, a lot of peace.
But there's meditations where you focus on a mantra or you focus on...
The object of meditation is we meditate on the presence of love. It's just, we presume that it's there. And now we test this hypothesis through this process that it has upon our consciousness.
Wait, so
you put your attention on your heart, and now you just see what you feel.
Okay. And then?
And then you start to, then some sort of inner state starts to develop.
And can anyone just do that now? But there's something special that you told me about. What are those special ingredients that you add to this?
So when I first went to this trainer,
right,
and I had a unique experience, and I didn't know the cause of that experience, and I didn't find out until later that there was something happening, which we call pranahuti, or yogic transmission, which had such a profound effect.
And what is that?
It's very difficult to define, but we can understand it in a certain way. Let's say that we can, sometimes actually it's been defined as energy, right? Energy that can transform us in some way, but that actually isn't completely correct, because energy is, it is of this manifested world, of this material dimension, absolutely, right? But this is something which is not of the unmanifest. It belongs to the unmanifest. I'm always reminded of this quote by Kabir, this poet.
I know.
And one line always jumps out at me, especially as a musician, right? Because I'm a violinist. So he talks about the sound of an unplucked or unstruck string. Right? So I can understand as a musician the sound of a plucked string. But the sound of an unplucked string, this is something else he's talking about now. And so he's talking about something which belongs to the unmanifest, down to this world of potentiality. Right?
And that's what this energy is?
It isn't even energy. It belongs to this unmanifested side. This, what we can call the source of all of our existence, where there's no action. It's absolute, stillness. And because of that, that means that how is that source going to activate this transmission to reach us? That means what is happening here? That means that this transmission is actually being activated and drawn towards us by ourselves and by our own craving.
Well, let me understand this. If we are just dropping in and there's a teacher there and I'm dropping into that space, then is the teacher sending me a transmission?
He's not doing anything. He's not doing, but somehow, you see, what I realized later was that this trainer, and there's thousands of trainers, right? This trainer also had a trainer. And that person had prepared all of these people in such a way that they become sort of conduits for this.
Well, let's talk about that, because that's really what makes this different than all the others. This is a level of initiation, right? It's a level
an
of
introduction of kinds, yeah.
So what are they getting, those trainers, in order to transmit that to the students that are?
It's become a pipe.
But is there something that's done to them by the trainer?
Yes, they're prepared. They're
And
prepared.
can you give us a little more information about that? Or
I
would
don't
you
know what
be
to
giving
say
away
exactly. No,
secrets?
there's no secrets.
No, because
But
you were trained, right?
Yeah, but it's training. Training looks like this. You close your eyes and you meditate, and something happens.
But what is that thing that's happening?
You receive some transmission. Something is opened up in you, and now you can help others experience the very
So
same
is that
thing.
transmission consciously sent to you as a possible teacher? That's what I'm trying to get to.
I mean, something to do with consciously. You see, when we talk about nature,
Right.
things happen in such a natural way. Things happen automatically. The rain doesn't ever say, I'm going to rain now. It just happens, you know? And I think as we become more and more natural, then things just happen. You know, our actions just happen in the most automatic way, in a natural way, unself-conscious way.
I think if we go to the source, the origins of this meditation, that might be more what I'm looking for as far as like the origins of this. Your teacher, Daji,
Yeah.
do you want to talk about?
So he's the person who I was referring to as the person who's prepared all of these trainers.
Yeah, this is Daji.
Yeah.
Just
So
one picture is okay. So what happened with him?
So he's actually the fourth in a lineage of guides or gurus, you could say, or even masters, right? And in this tradition.
Right.
So I would say that the role or function of a guide is really kind of a back end kind of function. It's nothing where you have to go and meet this guru and listen to them speak and interact with them in some way. I would say he's just the guarantor, you could say, of the method, or the guarantor of this transmission. And you can just stay at home, you meditate on your own, but because he's there, somehow something different is happening.
But what happened to him? How did he
His
get
story.
activated? Yeah,
So his
just a little
story,
bit about his story.
he's from Gujarat, the
Gujarat,
Indian state of
northern
Gujarat.
India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he was a teenager, you know, he was in pharmacy college in Ahmedabad. And there, he actually, is a very funny story, it's in the book. He had decided, he was very inspired by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and also his disciple Swami Vivekananda.
Okay.
Vivekananda was a sannyasi. He roamed all around the world. He's one of the key people to bring concepts of meditation yoga to the US.
That's right. He was at the Parliament of World Religions
Yes.
representing
Right.
Hinduism for probably the first time,
Yeah.
a Hindu at this
Right.
international gathering. Yeah.
So he was inspired by him, and he also felt, let me also become a sannyasi. Let me also be a roaming, monk, right?
Okay.
So he went out, and he went down by where the river was, the river Narmada, and there he found a band of sannyasis there, dressed in their orange robes. And
Sannyasis are like renunciates.
Renunciates.
People wearing the orange
Yeah.
robe. Yeah.
ascetics.
Right.
So he met them, and they sort of observed each other, I suppose, from a distance, the way I understand the story from him. And then eventually their leader, who was a kind of an elderly man, he called him over and he said, "What are you doing here?"
Daji.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they called Daji, because Daji was now 19-something, maybe.
But he was still studying pharmacy.
He was studying pharmacy, but he'd gone off, right?
Uh-huh.
And so he called him over, he said, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "I'm interested in becoming sannyasi like you." And he said, "Don't do this." He said, "You won't find God like this." And he told him the whole story.
The sannyasin
The
said
sannyasi
that you will
said
not
this.
find
You
God
will not
like
like this. He told him this whole story, how he'd left his family, he'd abandoned his kids, he hadn't seen his family for years, his village for years, and he hadn't found what he was seeking for.
Mhm.
So he said, don't follow this path. So he went home the same day.
Right.
And having gone home,
Yes.
yeah, and a few months later, he met a trainer in this Heartfulness way, and he experienced this for the first time. And, he practiced it like the rest of us practice it.
There's some special guests in the room. We did a little meditation before we started. I'll get back to the story. I just want the testimonials of Anderson over here. We're at the YouTube studios, and Anderson is here doing a music video, but I just want him to give a little testimonial about what he felt. Come up on stage, and you're all dressed up. Thank you.
Man, I told you I was shooting.
Here,
Hi.
have a seat for a second.
Hey, listen, no,
No, just, yes, have a seat and
Let me
just
take a
tell, because you had a good experience, right? When you-
Yeah, man, you
And
know,
Levi's
what's
here
up,
too.
everybody? I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know where I'm looking.
That's okay, you can look at this camera.
But what's up? I'm Hollywood Anderson. You know what I'm saying?
And tell us what happened when we did this meditation.
When we
you
did the
started.
meditation, it was really weird, man. I had this thing going on with my left ear and my right ear. More of my right than my left. Not messing with you. But, no, it was really cool because we spoke about just how it's off-putting for me a little bit because the way I function as a creative is I need the race, I need the constant.
You need your mind constantly going.
Yeah, I need my mind to work or something's gonna go wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people. So to have that moment where you understand that you're looking for something within self, but you're still like, damn, I still want my my race.
Wait, so your mind stopped racing there?
And not necessarily stop racing, but I kind of wasn't concerned with the race for a few seconds, which is like good and bad for a person like me. It can be good on a great day and it can be bad on a good day. And for that moment, it wasn't bad, but it just allowed me to come out of that moment, which was much appreciated. So it did do its job in that respect.
Great. Tell people what your channel is and what music. And we'll get Levi up.
My name is Hollywood Anderson. You know me, Mr. American Idol, the real American Idol, the guy that made J-Lo cry. You know what I'm saying? Just Google Hollywood Anderson. Everything will pop up. Buy my music. Don't stream it. Continue to support art, not only with me, myself, and these guys, but support creative output from everywhere and support it in a way that makes a difference. Because now people look at artists as like these objects.
Did you have something to say about when his mind stopped racing, and then we'll get Levi up here too?
No, I mean, any experience is good. But I'm just reminded of something because we were just talking about my teacher. I have a meditation teacher who's co-author of this book. And last week I was listening, he was giving a speech, and he was saying it's actually this idea that the mind becomes still, absolutely still, is incorrect. When we meditate, in fact, the mind speeds up to such a great speed that it actually looks as if it's still. It gives this illusion of stillness, but actually that's only because it's moving so quickly. Wow. Like when you have these children's tops, these tops, you spin the top and it's spinning so fast, but actually it looks like it's absolutely still. So actually I don't think we have to worry that the mind is going to stop racing. It's going to go the other direction.
Well, it sounds like you relax. Let's get Levi.
Yeah.
Levi, let's
Hey,
hear,
man.
because you've had a great experience too when we did this.
You want me to stay up here?
Yeah. You want to give him this?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
give him his
Have a seat.
platform.
I really appreciate your experience too. When you thanks so much for being here. What happened when you did that meditation?
I passed out. I went to sleep. You had to revive me. No, I experienced the actual like the body sensation when he was basically telling us to meditate and to like because we let our feet out of our shoes, right?
Yeah.
So my feet were on the floor, and I started twinkling my toes or whatever, and I could actually feel like the energy kind of rising from my lower self, my lower body, to more so like my chest area. And when we actually started the meditation process, and we were done, and I opened my eyes, I felt lighter. You know what I mean? I felt lighter. I felt more, just in a positive place. Wow. So it definitely played a great impact on just my spectrum as being an artist, because I'm an artist as well. You have to have that clear mindset. So it clears.
So would you say if you did this every day, or how could someone do this every day?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you just meditate, I think it's really helpful to meditate along with a trainer, and that's helped me anyway. Okay. And so that's what we recommend. You can find them at heartfulness.org, or there's also a way we have an app called Let's Meditate. So you just download this app, it's a free app, and you can connect remotely with somebody a trainer, and just sit in your own home or wherever you are and, meditate. And I also want to say this meditation that we just did, this was about a 4-minute meditation.
We're going to do
5-minute
some at the end of
meditation.
the show so everyone can tap in. How can people find you and your work and your talent?
Yes, my real name is Levi, but my artist name is Vokael, Vokael. My entertainment label is Solando, out of Orlando, Florida. I'm here visiting in New York, and I'm having a great time. Meditation.
And are you a rapper, a singer,
I am a
dancer?
singer. I am a singer and a producer and a songwriter. The soul of Orlando, baby.
The soul of. Thanks so
Look me
much
up,
for
please. Thank
being
you.
on New
Yeah.
Realities.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This is
See.
what's beautiful about doing a show here at YouTube. Come back anytime. And
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks, Anderson, too. But isn't that great? I mean, we just did a little meditation here in the studio, and these guys were doing their own video, and they just jumped in. And
Yeah. See,
And-
actually, that's the thing about transmission.
What?
It's something that, you know, as a musician, I'm used to being patient. I'm used to this idea that things can take a very, very long time before you feel the effects, right? Because to be a musician, it's going to be out of tune for the first 6 months, right?
Right.
So you have this idea that you keep working, you keep investing in this discipline, and eventually it gives you some return, right? But I found something with an immediate effect when this is my experience.
Yeah, well,
You know?
like these guys had an immediate effect. Actually, I had
Yeah.
a bit of a
Yeah, you
drop. I
can-
dropped in, actually. I mean, I do a lot of meditation, but when we started doing this, I dropped into something. I said,
Yeah.
wow, I must be in a zone or something.
I want people actually to forget about testimonials, no matter how great they are. I
Really?
want people to try something for themselves and see what they experience. You know, we
Well,
have
we'll do that.
we have enough, you know, marketing, and we have enough, you know, belief systems and everything. This is nothing like that. This is something you try it, see what it does, form your own
I
conclusion.
just thought it was interesting to
Yeah.
get, these guys probably don't.
No, it's
they-
interesting for sure.
And I don't, you know, I have my own little meds, but
Yeah.
just for anyone who's tried this, they drop in like that and
Yeah.
have an immediate effect is pretty interesting, because most people are
Yeah.
trying to stop their mind, and of course you can't stop your mind when you're meditating. You have
Yeah.
to be the observer of the mind.
Mm.
But no, I want to just get back to the story you were saying about your teacher,
Yeah.
Daji, when he met the sannyasins, and the sannyasins said,
So-
don't do this.
So go home.
Yeah, and what happened then?
He went home.
And then what
And he
happened?
went back to school.
Yeah.
He went back to his college. And soon after, he sort of came across one of these heartfulness trainers I mentioned. And then he had what he describes as the best experience of his life.
Oh, so he didn't create this meditation?
No, he's the fourth in a lineage.
That goes back to
It-
Vivekananda?
It doesn't go back to Vivekananda, but it goes back to the same time period as Vivekananda.
Who was the originator?
So the first person his name was Ramchandra,
Ramchandra.
right? And people called him Lalaji. He was from the North Indian state of UP, a place called Fatehgarh. And
Andhra Pradesh. is
yeah,
that UP?
yes.
Yeah,
And then he also had a disciple whose name, just by coincidence, also happened to be Ramchandra.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So,
Sure.
so they called him Babuji.
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 Yeah. And then third one was also there from the south, his
Uh-huh.
name Charaji. And then, you know, so this lineage has been passed along.
And he's the
And
fourth.
He's the fourth.
So he got it from Chandraji,
Yeah, Charaji.
who was
that's right.
who was the sannyasin.
No sannyasins
Oh,
here.
it was not.
None of these are sannyasins.
Oh, oh.
All the people here, I mean, he's a pharmacist. Daji's a pharmacist. Here in New York City, actually. He lived for 30 years here in New York City.
Before he got into the meditation.
No, while he was meditating.
while he
See,
was
this is what we promote. We promote, we say the integration, an integrated life, right? The whole point of this is that you live your family life, you live your professional life, fine. You don't have to leave that or anything like that. But create some balance from within yourself through meditation,
And
right? And so that's what I'm saying he's done. As somebody who is a pharmacist and pharmacy owner here in New York City for 3 decades, right? And all the time also, you know, nurturing his spiritual life, right? Through meditation on a daily basis, and, you know, and become something, you know, and becomes the, you know, fourth, you know, guru in this tradition. So
now he's passed it on to because now it's worldwide. I mean,
it is.
What was it about him and you, in a way, this is your mission too. You stopped playing music and now you're just spreading the
I'm
meditation.
an unusual case. That's not.
But so you're passionate about this
Yeah.
because it did something for you.
Yes, and I think there are many people who are passionate about it who share this, you know, in their own cities and towns.
But you're passionate
and
about it because it did something for you, right?
Yes,
What was
absolutely.
it that it did for you? I mean, I
It's
know you don't want testimonials and everyone will try it, but what did it do
It's
for you?
continuing to do it.
And what?
Convey the kind of freedom that this grants you.
I don't. I mean, tell me what that means.
It means that life is still normal,
Right.
right? there can be anxieties to them, to the extent that this is, normally this happens.
Because your mind is aware of a deeper reality, would you say?
You're floating free somewhere else. You get access to the next level, right? So then the next level gets unlocked. And then you have to fight your way through that. Then the next level gets unlocked, right? Consciousness is something which is perhaps even infinite. But the available consciousness that we have, the available awareness we have is something like this. It's a little sliver available to us.
But you're saying there's something different about this meditation.
I'm just speaking from my experience.
Right.
Now, I know that there's certain parts of this which are, that's a feature that's unique. And
that comes from the teacher, and you said to meditate to that guy with a...
You can even receive it without a trainer, in fact. But in any case, so this is a unique feature of this system.
That is a transmission.
Yeah.
That's one unique
That's
feature.
one. And there's another practice, too, which is very unique, which we call cleaning. I'm just speaking from my own experience, right?
Right.
But
that's all you can do is speak from your experience.
In terms of comparison, when I'm talking about comparison, I'm talking about features, right, which are cleaning and transmission. These are unique. Remove emotional burdens that we carry.
It sounds like, Vipassana has that technique too. Have you done? Samsaras come up and they are cleansed because they've been...
It's sort of the emotional memory, right? It doesn't even need you don't actually have to have a memory of it, but somehow imagine how many times we have a reaction, emotional reaction. Not even a big one, but just the tiniest one, right? And, so this cleaning method removes them in bulk.
What is that method? So you're sitting there...
Walk you through it.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you want.
And then we'll do a little meditation as well, okay?
Yeah.
You'll give us the actual transmission.
Yes.
All right, so let's do the...
At the end of each day for maybe, until it's finished. But let's say 20 minutes or something, 30 minutes,
all right.
15 minutes.
We'll just do a few.
So I'll just show you how to do it, actually.
Okay, great.
So and have the understanding, the idea that all complexities and impurities are leaving your whole system through the back, flowing out behind you in this area between the top of your head and the base of your spine, your whole back. More quickly. There's no memories which we wish to clean away. And we can even continue to accelerate the process with this smoke. A few minutes, 15 minutes. So until we feel lightness emerge from within, which is, of course, this lightness being the proof of this cleaning method. And now we imagine some kind of divine energy or energy time. And this energy from the source, as it enters us, a nook and cranny, illuminating every cell. And the whole body, and we can just enjoy that feeling for a moment, experience it for a moment. And that's all. At the end of the day, and I think this lightness that emerges inside, this joyfulness that comes inside, becomes you do it not because you need to believe in this process or in any philosophy.
Well, it's nothing to believe. It's with your teacher. I like that too, and I'll repeat that for people at the end. But what happened with the teacher? He met the sannyasin.
Yeah, he met.
He went back home.
Yes, and found this in his hostel. And he saw him. He was trying to meditate. And he saw him meditating, saying, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm meditating." He says, "I'll show you. I'll bring you to someone who can show you how to meditate." So he brought him to how to do it. Now let's meditate, and they meditated like that.
And he just said, "Oh my God, this is the
yes."
Thing. And that happened to you too.
Yes.
And what and along with it. So you're getting kind of a bigger energetic field, right?
Something very profound is happening, and I think to with it.
Well, what's the website?
So we can go to heartfulness.org, right? Heartfulness.org, and there's a function there called Heart Spots, H-E-A-R-T spots. Download this app. Let's meditate, and just connect remotely with somebody.
And you're not charging people. Never. There's no charge.
You can't, because spirituality can't be sold. It's a marketplace.
No, I get that.
And there's a line in this book where there's a book of conversations between myself and God is not for sale. Right? Could afford the price, then why would you even need God?
Right.
So this whole idea of involving
That we already have. That's what I would say
agreed,
about that.
absolutely.
But it is the mission of this to bring this to the world, right? Is that what
Yes, of course.
you discovered?
Of course. And not the mission isn't that everybody should meditate either.
What is the mission?
At least that they should know that it's there, so that if they so choose, meditate, anything like that.
No, of course
No.
not. But you feel if more people did this, there would be more peace on the planet, right? I mean, obviously.
Because external peace is not some sort of condiment, right? If you have violence and hatred and anger inside your heart, no amount of peacemaking is going to make any difference. Something which, according to our understanding, is given by God and can never be eradicated.
No,
But
in
it's-
certain situations,
yeah.
it's appropriate.
Properly utilized.
Okay.
So when you start just firing everybody, and getting, blaming everybody, then that's definitely a misuse of anger. But mistake, right? I say something stupid or I insult somebody, now.
So it's a way of learning.
Yeah.
But how are you a different person now than you were before you started this whole process?
I noticed a difference in my experience. I noticed there's certainly a difference
is
in
that
consciousness.
difference?
Well,
If you
I can.
want to be transparent.
It's not about
No.
hiding anything or being non-transparent. It's just London, right?
Yeah.
And somebody came along and said, "Are you enlightened?"
Uh-huh.
They asked me this question. And I was just all of a sudden reminded of this statement. Somebody went to one of the gurus in this, I think it was great, because he said, suppose I showed you God. How would you know that it was God? Right? So, in the same way, I think if I were to tell that person, whatever I say about my own state,
Right.
okay, I can say I've transformed, I've become wonderful, but how are you going to verify it? Or proof of a system like this is something that can only be done for oneself, right? By seeing the effect that it creates upon oneself. You can't look for it to change. If you find there's change, you can say this is good. If you find there isn't change or there's negative change, then you can conclude that,
This Rumi quote that says, when I went looking for God, I found, and that brings us all back to like who we really are, which can't be defined. And I think this is what's inside of us.
I agree.
So let's do a little 5 minutes and
Yes.
just get
Okay.
the audience to really, all right, we'll do just a show. Most of the time it's what, 20, 30 minutes?
I think so.
All right, well, there you get,
You know.
it's more for free there. No, go ahead.
Yes, of light in the heart. And we give this light within ourselves. And so we give it some space, right?
It's
you don't,
not a vision.
not a vision. You don't sit in.
It's a sense.
Yes, this is something that you don't see, but something that you feel.
Okay.
So, and the heart is the organ. So we just close our eyes, and we, gently bring our awareness to the heart. And now we just see what kind of subtle state starts to develop during this meditation, and especially by the conclusion of this session. So we just observe that and enjoy that. Now, so when I actually meditation.
Okay, that's what I was going to, of course.
Yeah.
What,
This isn't just for a few minutes.
Yes.
This is just to
How do
trigger
we get
meditation.
24 hours of meditation.
Yeah, you have to trigger it through the act of meditation.
Okay, but
Right,
so you
anyway.
tell me when we'll start.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ready to
It's
start.
easier to meditate when the body is relaxed. So I'll just walk you through. I'll say relax this, relax feet, relax arms, and then I'll say start meditation. And then we'll do what I just explained, right? Just put our attention there, any position, any asana as you like. Now, and move your toes and relax them. Now feel a healing current, energy entering through the soles of your feet, the bottom of your feet, and relaxing your feet. You can feel this energy moving up your legs, relaxing them as it goes, relaxing your ankles and lower legs, your knees, Relax your upper legs. Let your hips relax, your waist, and relax your stomach and all the muscles of your chest. Let your whole back relax, all the way from the base of your spine to your shoulders. And relax your shoulders. Let them feel like they're melting. Let them feel as if they're liquid. Relax your arms, your triceps and bicep muscles, and your elbows. Relax all the muscles of your forearms and your wrists and hands. Feel the energy flowing out from your fingertips. Now, gently bring your attention to your neck and relax your neck. Your throat, your jaws. Relax your mouth and your tongue, teeth, all the muscles of your face. Let your eyes be very softly closed, gently. Let there be so much softness around your eyes. Relax your ears and earlobes, all the way up to the top of your head. If there's any place in your body that needs to relax even more, relax that place. And allow your whole body to become completely relaxed. And gently bring your attention to your heart, your chest area, where light from the source is present within, drawing you, attracting you within, towards the core of your heart, your center. Let's start meditation, please. that's
It feels like when you said start meditation, it felt like something dropped in.
nice.
Thank you for that.
Most welcome.
Sense of peace. That's it. There's nothing you're not doing it for yourself.
Peace and beyond peace, to define the final goal of where this brings us, because we will not be able to grasp it until we've attained it. But we get the fragrance of it as we meditate, and that attracts us further towards this final state. And I think that the way that we can define this final state is that it is sort of a situation in which we no longer aspire for anything, to become anything. We no longer have the wish to achieve or experience anything, because there is total fulfillment in that state. Total
And it's okay
contentment.
if people do want to do something in that state. You know, I think peace is a level playing field, and from that place, we can choose.
Peace is a starting point,
Yeah, it's a start.
and there's much more beyond peace.
Cool.
You know.
Thank you, Josh, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here.
And sharing this, which is a gift for anyone who wants it. So people who want to find you or the meditation can go to the Heartfulness Way website.
The Heartfulness. Yes.
Just do this.
Absolutely. And if they want to find out more and go about what can happen to you if you meditate, and also to sort of explain the whole thing in a lot of depth and detail.
What is it about Daji that?
What to say? I think the more that I'm able to develop some kind of ability, some sort of, so
His sense of beingness. Huh?
Yeah.
Thank you. Talking to Josh Pollack, the author, along with his teacher.
Yes.
And I'm Alan Steinfeld for New Realities from YouTube Studios, and it's been really fun for me to be here live at the UFO panel. So I go from the outer to the inner, you know. So keep watching, keep watching. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.